Here's paragraph 1, crafted in the style you requested. Single narration, motivational and philosophical, with a strong hook and audience engagement. Have you ever stood at the top of a roller coaster, looking down at the twisting tracks beneath you, feeling that mixture of fear and exhilaration, and wondered what it would take to let go and just ride? That moment, suspended between hesitation and action, is a lesson in life disguised as a thrill. Life, much like a roller coaster, is governed by forces we cannot always see, yet understanding them can transform fear into clarity. Richard Feynman once showed the world how curiosity and observation could turn even the most complicated phenomena into moments of joy and discovery. And in that spirit, we can begin to see the physics of a roller coaster as more than just a ride. It is a mirror of human potential. At the very top, the coaster holds potential energy, immense and quiet, like the untapped possibilities within ourselves. This energy is poised to convert, ready to release in motion, and it teaches us that preparation, patience, and the courage to reach that high point are the foundation for progress. Every small step we take in understanding our own lives, every moment of careful thought and learning, is analogous to climbing that initial ascent. It is slow, sometimes uncomfortable, yet absolutely necessary, because without reaching that peak, there is no momentum, no exhilaration, and no growth. When the coaster begins to descend, that potential energy transforms into kinetic energy, a dynamic force that propels the ride forward, and in a very real sense, the same principle applies to human ambition. When we finally act on our ideas, when we allow our knowledge, preparation, and courage to move us into motion, we create a velocity in our lives that can carry us through twists, turns, and unexpected loops. Just like a coaster, the world below may seem chaotic, but there is an underlying harmony that physics, like life, reveals if we pay attention. Observing the patterns, the rise and fall, the push and pull, we start to notice that every sharp turn teaches control, every steep drop cultivates courage, and every loop demonstrates resilience. Understanding this is not just academic, it is transformative. Feynman often emphasized the joy of seeing simple truths in complex systems, and a roller coaster exemplifies this beautifully. Energy cannot be created or destroyed, it only changes form, reminding us that our efforts, our learning, and even our failures are never wasted. They are stored as potential, ready to convert into something powerful, thrilling, and alive. So next time you face a challenge, imagine the coaster reaching its summit and recognize the potential inside you, waiting for the moment to become motion, the moment to shine, and the moment to transform fear into exhilaration. In embracing the physics of life, we discover not only how the world works, but how we might work with it, using the invisible forces around us to create momentum, to overcome hesitation, and to fully experience the ride that is uniquely ours. If you like this style, I can move on to paragraph 2, where I'll add suspense and deepen the motivational connection with the physics of energy, gravity, and thrill. Do you want me to continue? As the coaster plunges down from its peak, the world seems to blur, and for a moment, you lose the certainty that you once clung to so tightly. It is in that sudden, heart-stopping descent that the true lesson reveals itself. Life, like a roller coaster, is not meant to be fully controlled. The laws of gravity act whether we understand them or not, and yet understanding them gives us a choice in how we respond. Richard Feynman taught us that curiosity is the key to unraveling the mysteries around us, and in the swirl of acceleration, we begin to see that the twists and turns are not obstacles but invitations. Each curve, each sudden dip, challenges our instincts, pushes the boundaries of our comfort, and demands presence. The suspense builds because the path ahead is invisible for just a second longer than we want, and that uncertainty can be terrifying. But it is precisely in that uncertainty that growth lives. The coaster's momentum carries it forward even when the track disappears from sight, and in the same way, our preparation, our knowledge, and our courage propel us even when the outcome is unknown. Think about the physics behind it. Kinetic energy surges as height is traded for motion, potential energy dissolving into speed, a reminder that the resources we have accumulated in quiet moments, our learning, our experiences, our perseverance, are never wasted. They convert when we need them most. There is a split second where the world seems upside down, where gravity feels like it might pull us apart, and that is the suspended moment where transformation occurs. It is the point where hesitation becomes courage, where fear becomes insight, and where we realize that the ride, though unpredictable, is precisely designed to reveal what we are capable of. Just as a coaster twists, loops, and drops with precision rooted in physics, Our lives have an invisible architecture that responds to effort, intention, and observation. Feynman would have marveled at this. The simplicity of the laws governing energy contrasted with the complexity of experience, showing that understanding is not about removing mystery, but about seeing clearly through it. And then comes the unexpected, the loop, the sharp turn, the acceleration that makes your stomach rise, moments that feel impossible, moments that demand complete trust in the structure beneath you and the forces that guide you. Suspense peaks here, because at any instant, the ride could feel overwhelming, and yet it never fails to carry you safely forward. The thrill comes not from safety, but from the knowledge that you are moving with something larger than yourself, that your preparation meets opportunity, and that every sensation of fear is evidence of growth. In life, as on a roller coaster, the loops and sudden changes in direction are not failures. They are the points where energy converts most dramatically, where momentum builds, and where potential becomes kinetic in ways that surprise and exhilarate us. Embracing the uncertainty, leaning into the motion, and recognizing the invisible forces at play allows us to ride fully, to live fully, and to transform each heart-pounding moment into a lesson in courage, presence, and wonder. By seeing the physics behind the thrill, by understanding how energy flows and how motion is sustained, we unlock a philosophy of life. One that teaches us that the unknown is not a threat but a canvas for discovery, and that the only way to truly experience the ride is to surrender to the forces that propel us. As the roller coaster steadies after its most intense loops and drops, there is a moment of clarity, a breath between the surges of motion, when we can reflect on the journey we have just experienced. It is in these quiet intervals that the true wisdom of physics and of life reveals itself. Energy never disappears, it only transforms, and in understanding this, we find a roadmap for our own growth. Richard Feynman often marveled at the elegance of simple principles underlying the most complex phenomena, and there is a profound lesson here for anyone willing to observe. The thrills, the fear, the anticipation, and the exhilaration are not random. They are the natural outcomes of forces that follow rules we can comprehend and use. Life operates in the same way. Every decision we make, every risk we take, and every moment of learning we embrace accumulates as potential, waiting for the right conditions to convert into action. When we pause at the top of a new challenge, feeling the weight of uncertainty pressing down, we are holding potential energy within ourselves. The longer we prepare, the higher we climb, and the more thrilling the transformation when we finally let that energy flow. Kinetic energy, once released, carries us forward at speed, through experiences that challenge our instincts, expand our understanding, and ignite our sense of wonder. And just like on a coaster, the ride never travels in a straight line. There are twists, there are loops, and sometimes there are moments that make us question our courage. But it is in embracing these moments that we grow. Every twist teaches adaptability, every sudden descent teaches resilience, and every unexpected turn teaches that control is an illusion, but presence is a choice. Observing these principles in motion, as Feynman encouraged us to do, allows us to find joy in understanding, satisfaction in participation, and strength in movement. Even the highest drops, which at first seem frightening, are opportunities to experience the full potential of our preparation, to convert energy into momentum, and to realize that fear is not a barrier, but a signal that we are alive and fully engaged. The physics of a roller coaster becomes a metaphor. Just as gravity pulls the ride downward, life exerts forces on us, some gentle, some intense. Yet each one is predictable once we understand its nature, and each one offers the chance to channel our energy toward growth, insight, and exhilaration. The ride teaches patience, precision, courage, and above all, curiosity. The same qualities that Feynman cherished, qualities that allow us to see the world not as a threat, but as a dynamic, beautiful system in which we are active participants. And when the ride finally slows, when we reach the end and the coaster rolls to a calm stop, we realize that the experience has changed us. We have been tested, moved, and exhilarated, and we carry forward a new understanding of our own potential. Life, like a roller coaster, is designed to challenge, to surprise, and to delight, and embracing this reality allows us to live with energy, purpose, and joy. Remember that the forces acting upon us are not enemies, but allies if we observe, understand, and move with them. Every rise, every fall, every twist is an opportunity to convert preparation into momentum, knowledge into action, and fear into exhilaration. So step forward, embrace the motion, and trust the ride, for the journey itself is a lesson, a thrill, and a gift. If you are benefiting from our topics, please subscribe, like, and turn on the bell notification so you can see our new videos early.